Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2010 includes both men and women, and it talks about harassment in the workplace. It's important to know that it is applicable to every government organization, a private organization, a public organization, and not just employees working in those institutions, but students as well in the case of educational institutions. The process is what is mostly something people are unaware of, even if they're aware of the law. Now, under this act, people in the institutions who are in charge of either as head of departments or they are part of any committees, it's up to them in management to form a harassment committee. So every institution in Pakistan is supposed to have a harassment committee. In case harassment takes place with any employee or student in that particular institution, they can file a complaint with that particular committee within 30 days of the incident taking place. Now, I will talk about what is included in harassment, but before that, it is important to let you know what the procedure is. So we start off with filing a complaint within 30 days. Once that complaint is filed, the committee is supposed to have its investigation, and again within only 30 days, they're supposed to let the competent authority know whether the allegations were proved true or not, and they're supposed to give their recommendation in terms of penalties. If anyone is in disagreement, any of the two parties are in disagreement with whatever the competent authority decides, they are then supposed to go to the Ombudsman for workplace harassment. Each province has its own harassment ombudsman, and the federal one has its own as well. They will decide, they will see whether those penalties should be implemented or not, and if they decide, again, if any of the two parties disagree, they can then go to the High Court in an appeal. So the process was supposed to be something that was not cumbersome and yet expeditious for people. It was to encourage people in the workplace to come and speak up if there is any harassment that takes place. So let's talk about what exactly is harassment according to this law. Now, whereas the Ombudsman has done several cases where there was no sexual harassment, but people were being threatened or people were being made or coerced to do things that they were not authorized to do, or legally they were not supposed to do, or they were being prevented from doing something that they could do legally and under their authority as well. The High Court has reverted decisions and said that only sexual harassment is applicable. So the definition of sexual harassment under this law includes being asked to do any kind of sexual favors, be it by someone who's senior or junior, showing any explicit sexual material, anything verbal sexually that is said, someone touches you inappropriately, be it intentional or unintentional. So the scope is quite wide. Now, bearing in mind that often when harassment takes place, or sexual harassment especially, people are alone. So there's just the harasser and the victim. In such cases, there are people who have come forward with complaints. They have pleaded their cases very well in front of the Ombudsman, in front of their committees, and they have ended up getting an actual penalty against the harasser as well. Another thing to bear in mind is that whatever penalty is prescribed has to be implemented within 7 days. So the process is supposed to be expeditious, like I mentioned before, and also it is supposed to be done without the legal costs and the legal hassle of having a lawyer that you actually have to pay. So bearing that in mind, there are people who have gone ahead and they have filed complaints, and it has been found out that, well, according to the investigation, this person hasn't harassed the alleged victim. Now, the law in the Act clearly states that any witness and any complainant, even if it is shown, proved, or maybe due to lack of evidence, it says that harassment didn't take place, no action is supposed to be taken against them. None against the witnesses, none against the complainant. And this is because the whole purpose is to encourage people to come up and speak about harassment. So if a person is, let's suppose there's lack of evidence and that person can't be penalized, it is still supposed to go down in his file that this person was accused, but because of lack of evidence, nothing could take place. What this facilitates people in is that if there is an incident again the next time, they can actually hold that person accountable. Now let's talk about the penalties. In the penalties, you have minor penalties and you have major penalties, obviously depending on the kind of harassment that has taken place. So minor penalties will include something like being demoted, not getting compensation, being held in a certain place without promotion for a number of years, taking back an increment that was given to that person. And major penalties include something like dismissal, removal from service, being punishment up to 3 years, or a 5 lakh rupee fine, a maximum 5 lakh rupee fine. So these are the options that are available to people. If anyone by mistake goes to a district court to file for sexual harassment, it is automatically reverted to the ombudsman, whether it's the provincial ombudsman or the federal ombudsman.